we can't verify this check, I can't cash this check, and I'm confiscating the check. I said, why are you confiscating my check?
I'm going to tag her TikTok if you want to see the full videos, but here's the gist. Her father sent her a check to pay rent for a year, so it's a large check. She went to Citibank to cash that check so she could pay her rent. Teller ends up saying, we can't cash the check because we can't verify it. She goes, okay, you need me to call my dad? Like, talk to him, routing number, like, what do you need? She goes, nope, it's already been decided. We can't verify not cashing the check. She said, okay, give me my check and I'll be on my way. And the woman said, nope, we confiscated your check. And then in the exchange back and forth, she ended up asking, so anytime you can't verify a check, you confiscate it? And the woman goes, no, not every time. And then the teller couldn't or wouldn't articulate a reason that this time was different. But we can take some guesses. The young lady started recording him, and a higher up got involved, and she said, hey, this woman told me that you don't always confiscate checks. And he tried to kind of deny that. She said, hey, I got it recorded, and then this happened.
You don't want to cash the check because it's a $30,000 check, and I'm black, and you're telling me you can't verify it.
Also, delete the recording, please, because you're not allowed. You're in the bank and you're not allowed to record things.
She said, no, I'm not deleting shit. And then the woman instructed security to lock the doors and told her, we're keeping you here until you delete that video. They eventually let her leave, but without her check. And this is not uncommon for the banking system in America to racially profile Black Americans. Like the director of Black Panther, who went into a Bank of America and had them call the police on him as if he were a bank robber because he handed the teller a note. That note said, I'm withdrawing $12,000 from my checking account. Please do the money count somewhere else. I'd like to be discreet. As in, he doesn't want a bunch of people in a bank in Atlanta to know he just got 12 grand in cash and walked out the door alone. And despite the fact that he had given his ID and his account information with that note, they called the police as if he was trying to rob the bank. Or how about how Wells Fargo rejected half its black applicants in the mortgage refinancing boom? They are the biggest bank mortgage lender, and they only approved 47% of black applicants, while approving 72% of white applicants. And even if you look at all lenders, Black Americans have the lowest approval percentage. Now do you understand what we're talking about when we talk about systemic racism, when we talk about white privilege? How if I walk into Wells Fargo, I have a 72% chance of getting approved because of this, and a Black American only has a 47% chance? Sounds like another reason to look at credit unions over privatized banks.
Jim Crows still very much exist in various pockets of the country till this day. Unfortunately, this is very pervasive in the banking and corporate world, where it is not as easy for it to come into light. We simply burying our heads into the ground and saying these things don't happen anymore is stupid. The only way things are going to change is if we leverage laws that were established in order to protect against discrimination by suing the existence of these bad actors.
I recently made a video titled Banking While Black, where I told you in part the story of a young lady who went to a Citibank location to cash a $30,000 check that her father had given her to pay her rent for a year. And they not only said that they could not cash it because they couldn't verify it when she asked to get her check back, they refused and said they were confiscating it. When she asked why, they couldn't articulate a reason. And then when she revealed that she was recording the things they were saying on her phone, they had security lock the door and were refusing to let her leave until she deleted the video. Now, she did not delete the video, and they did eventually let her leave, but she was obviously very upset by all of this. I did, however, have a part of that story wrong. I said that they didn't give her check back, and it turns out they did. When she left, she did indeed get her check back. However, there are some other things that I found out since. For example, and I'm guessing this is because she's younger and probably doesn't deal with as many checks as maybe someone my age has in their lifetime. When she kept saying she was trying to cash the check, she actually meant she was trying to deposit the check. And the bank knew this because she filled out a deposit slip with her information on it because she has an account at Citibank. I saw people saying like, well, yeah, of course they're going to question it. It's $30,000 cash they're handing her. No, it was putting a check in her checking account. They didn't have to hand her any money. They just had to put the check in the checking account, and they still treated her that way. And they weren't done with her yet because she posted this update. So I guess that teller and bank manager weren't done with her. They froze her account, and she has no access to her money, can't log in. Citibank, this is bullshit. And she's pursuing legal action, I believe, and rightfully so. And for people who are like, what can we do? You can hold Citibank accountable. You can maybe not do business with Citibank and private banks in general. Predatory overdraft fees for years, denying people based on private banks are a problem.
There was a girl on my For You page, and she was literally cashing a check at a bank, and it was a $30,000 check, and she wanted to cash it in, and the bank teller literally told her that we are not cashing this check, and we are actually confiscating it. And she was a black woman, and she literally was asking, why are you doing it? And they really did not give her a viable reason at all. This is why I advocate so hard for people of color and black people to build their own tax-free banks. Like, how many times do we have to realize that these traditional American systems, financial systems, educational systems are not based around being super equitable or ethical around people of color or black people? Like, I just opened a policy yesterday for a black family, and she'll have access to millions and thousands of dollars for her family that she can withdraw from tax-free, not have to talk to a bank teller. Whether she wants to put a down payment on a house, a business, taking control of your money is so powerful.